Ancient Egypt is always a fascinating topic for students. I mean, what's not to like? You've got pyramids, you've got mummies, but you know what's even better than that? Making your own mummy. Hi, I'm Megan Wisdom from World History Wisdom, and my goal is to help teachers like you easily implement hands-on learning activities and historical fiction into your classroom so your students can better understand the past. And today, I'm going to show you how you can mummify a chicken in your classroom. Yes, a real chicken. Mummifying a chicken does require a little advanced planning, but don't worry, it really is easy and a lot of fun. It will take a few weeks to complete the project, depending on the size of your chicken, anywhere from 4 to 7 weeks. I recommend using a Cornish game hen because it's so much smaller, it mummifies much more quickly. I usually can complete a Cornish game hen mummy in about 4 to 5 weeks rather than 7, and I find that this fits really easily into the time frame that I've allotted for a unit study on ancient Egypt or to complete a historical novel set in that time. In addition to a chicken, you'll need to gather some other supplies. Don't worry, these are all very inexpensive and easy to find. I'll send you a free list of supplies and tips on how to make this project even more affordable. Just click the link below to sign up. The first day of the mummification project is the most time intensive. You'll want to devote an entire class period to mummy preparation, which leads us to the first problem. You have one chicken and a whole bunch of students. How can you make this project a hands-on learning experience for everyone to enjoy? So the first thing you'll want to do is divide your class into teams and assign those teams specific tasks. These teams will actually stick together for the entirety of the project. They'll have tasks to complete in the future together as well. Easy enough, but that leads us to problem number 2. What are you going to do with all the students who are waiting their turn to get their hands on the mummy? Well, unless you want total anarchy, nobody wants total anarchy, then you're going to have them working actively on a task in the meantime. I've developed 4 station activities that all deal with the history and the science of mummification that students can complete while they're waiting their turn. If you're interested in learning more about those stations, you can click below. There's a link that will take you to those stations and the team task cards. After the first day, you'll only need to change out the natron or the salt mixture once a week. And this is what your teams will be doing. It only takes 10 to 15 minutes tops. So team number 1 will come in that first week and change out the salt. And before they put it away, they'll show everybody the progression, how much the chicken has changed over time. I always think that's cool because it changes so rapidly, and it also, amazingly, does not smell. So what I like to do for the students who are not involved in the changing of the natron is to have them working on some kind of bell ringer activity, and then I just excuse the team members who are working with the mummy from that activity for the day. You'll need a dark, dry place to store the mummy in between salt changings. I typically use a cardboard box and just stuff it in a closet or a cabinet. I even stored it in the teacher's lounge one year, believe it or not. Just make sure that people know that they should not throw away the box, because that would be bad. Once the chicken feels more like jerky than flesh, it's time to wrap it up. After the mummy is wrapped, you'll need to leave it out in the open air to dry for a couple of days. I like to put it on a baking rack, a cooling rack, so that you get air underneath and above. I also rotate the chicken so that it's making sure that all parts are getting plenty of air and drying well. That will prevent mildew from forming on the cotton. When the fabric is dry, then you'll want to end with a ceremonial burial. This is where my students' creativity really shines. First, we vote on a name for our chicken. Someone usually comes up with a punny chicken name like Hatshepsut or Pecky II. And then they create a sarcophagus. We just take a plain old cardboard box and we cover it with hieroglyphics and artwork that the students made, Egyptian symbols, that sort of thing. Next, they fill the sarcophagus with things that they think the chicken will need to survive in the afterlife. At this point, we've already studied the Egyptian beliefs on the afterlife, about how they believed everything that went into the tomb were things that that person needed in order to survive in this other world. They have so much fun with this. It's not uncommon to find a cup of Starbucks coffee or a video game packed inside our sarcophagus. So that's it. Mummifying a chicken can seem like an overwhelming, impossible task, but it's not. I promise it's worth your time. I've been doing this with 6th grade students for almost 10 years, and it is one of their favorite activities. In fact, a graduating senior recently mentioned it as one of their favorite school memories. Don't forget to grab your free list of supplies and tips on how to make chicken mummification cheap and easy by clicking below. If you want more ideas for hands-on history projects or how to use historical fiction to teach about the past, follow me on Instagram at World History Wisdom or go to worldhistorywisdom.com.